Well, we'd like to welcome everyone to the 2018 National Western American Maine ASU Pen Bull Show. We'll get started here in just a few minutes. They'll finish up the ring for us and we'll get going. There are plenty of show programs over here on the table if any of you need that information. Also information on our sale bulls and females there as well. Just like to remind everyone, we'll have the show today. We do have the Bright Light sale tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m. down here in the Livestock Center. Several of those cattle that are in the sale will be exhibited here today. Please let us know if we can assist you in any way, and we'll get started here in just a few minutes. bulls and sell a private treaty about 150 bulls a year. Many of you know Eldon's synonymous with the purebred cattle business, worked with several breeds, but primarily in Angus, had tons of success exhibiting Penn and Carlo bulls here in the yards for several years, and we're glad he's with it. Along with Eldon is Mr. Nate Ruby from Murray, Iowa. Nate runs Ruby Cattle Company with his wife Leslie and son Creed. The operation consists of 350 Simmental, Sim Angus, and Angus cows. They have a fall female production sale every year and a spring bull sale in February. Nate and his family exhibited Simmental cattle here in the yards for over 10 years. Again, we're sure glad he's with us today. Our third judge for today, Mr. Josh Enlow. Josh is a former board member with the AMAA, and he and his family have Enlow Ranch, primarily focused on Maine NWSS and club calf cattle. They've owned and operated that ranch for many years now. He also owns and operates Enlow Tractor Auction in Tulsa. They have over 300 cows, both spring and fall calving operations. Josh was a very successful member of livestock judging teams at both Connors State College and Oklahoma State University. We're sure glad to have Josh with us. So we will get started here with our first entry. Following along with me on your programs, Class 181, entry 2459 from Blind Badger Ranch. First bull in the ring, he will be third in that particular entry, BBR Elvis 3E. BBR Elvis 3E. If you're following along with your cell catalog, this bull also is lot 40 in the bright light cell, lot 40. Blind Badger Ranch was established in 2000 here in Colorado at Fort Morgan. They run about 600 cows, predominantly Maine NWSS based, but have incorporated Angus, Simmental, and Charolais as well over the past years, and have approximately 350 registered cows. Yearly, they have a sale, they sell bulls at the National Western, along with private treaty at the ranch and at the Nebraska Cattlemen's Classic. They also have a female sale the first Sunday in November every fall. Notable herd sires produced in their program, Data Bank, X, X2, and Rumor Mill. The second bull in is BBR Ezekiel. BBR Ezekiel. He is lot 41 in the bright light cell. BBR Evander 2E will be the bull coming in now. He is lot 42 in your cell catalog. In terms of measurement, an average weight of 1,038, weight per day of age of 3.8, scanned with a ribeye of 13 inches. PRV experienced driver. PRV experienced driver. He also is lot 37 in the bright light cell. The bull entering now for entry 2518 is PRV Easy Money. PRV Easy Money. This entry is brought to you by Par 5 Cattle Company in Lake City, South Dakota. It was established in 2005. Their program consists of 500 cows operated in the Sisselton Hills of northeast South Dakota. They maintain approximately 120 registered Maine and maintainer cows and use the rest as recipient females. They have a yearly marketing program. They use a variety of opportunities, both with online heifer sales in the fall, consignment sales, including the Bright Light sale, and the Watertown, South Dakota Winter Farm Show sale. They will have approximately 10 bulls for sale private treaty at the ranch this spring. PRV Double Down, PRV Middle Management, BPF Mad Money, BPF Wanamaker, and NAGE Ante Up. Again, this is entry 2518. They had an average weight of 1,041, had a weight per day of age of 3.6, a ribeye area of 12.7, and measured with an average scrotal of 31.7. Class winning 181 is entry 2459 from Blind Badger Ranch. And second place was entry 2518 from Par 5 Cattle Company. Okay, again, Class 181 entry, first place, entry 2459 from Blind Badger Ranch. Second place, entry 2518 from Bar 5 Cattle Company. Let's give them a round of applause. They exit the ring, please. Sorry about that. We'll get the groove in just a second.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's an honor and privilege to be here today to sort through these Maine and Jew cattle. I guess from where I'm standing, there's no better place to be to kind of sort commercially relevant cattle than the Pen Show here in Denver. It's just truly one of my favorite events of the year, regardless of breed. And when I got the phone call, I was super excited about the opportunity to do this. But here, starting off this class, this particular pen here, I think, are the stout bulls of the drive. You get behind them, and I think they're stout, they're rugged, they're wide constructed, and sure appreciate that. I think they're athletic enough, they get out and move, and just a really complete type of cattle there. The lead bull there surely is an exceptional individual in my eyes as well. Excuse me. The bulls that come in second, I think maybe in terms of uniformity, probably match up a little bit different, I guess, in my opinion. I just like to loosen them up in their structure. A couple of them get a little bit more rigid in them back wheels and that back pasture compared to a couple of these bulls that start the class. But let's go ahead and give these exhibitors a nice round of applause. Nice way to start the day.
Lot 36 in your Bright Lights catalog. Third bull coming in for entry 2464 is BKMT Equity 002E. BKMT Equities 002E, which is also lot 35 in the Bright Light cell. Entry 2464 is brought to you by Buck Cattle Company of Madill and Morton Farm, Stratford, Oklahoma. It was established 25 years ago. Second bull in for entry 2468, EVFM Mr. Sue 29E, EVFM Mr. Sue 29E. Third bull in for entry 2468 is EVFM Mr. Zone 06E. EVFM Mr. Zone 06E. Again, entry 2468 is brought to you by Eastview Maines, Jasper, Minnesota. Eastview first started out with commercial Angus herd and started using black Maine bulls, and then has progressed to now operating with 150 Maine cows, mostly high percentage cows. Pull in for entry 2470. Next bull in for entry 2470 is DJ Enhancer E701. DJ Enhancer E701. Any up Team Blake, Ali, and I-80. Entry 2470, an average weight of 1,112, a weight per day of age of 3.6, ribeye of 15.0, and measured with a scroll of 31.3. Next entry in is 2471, brought to you by Maine Ranch, Allerton, Iowa. Therefore, the first bull in will be Mr. Maine Steel, ET. Mr. Maine Steel, entry 2471. 2471. Third bull in for entry 2471 is Mr. Maine Aim Thrive. Mr. Maine Aim Thrive. And in fourth place was entry 2471 from Maine Aim Ranch. So results from class 181A, first place 2464, second place 2470, third place entry 2468, and fourth place entry 2471.
Well, good afternoon. Super excited to be here today, to be at the National Western, and have the opportunity to judge the Maine Angie Pin Show. And looks like we scattered a little bit on the board, but obviously when you get through 4 sets of cattle out here that come from different programs, different parts of the country, they function in their part of the world. And so I think what you see is 4 really good sets of cattle. I think we all found the set here, the Cherubucks, to come to the forefront. Those cattle are big and stout. They've got a lot of grow in them. They are super good from the side profile. I'd ideally like to change one of those bulls off his hind leg. I'd like to see him move with a little more strength and authority, but I think a really good place to start the group. The next set of bulls come in from the young still. Good bulls, big stout bulls, long body. They got a lot of function to them, a lot of ruggedness to that set of bulls. Again, probably a set of bulls that didn't match up quite as well as the class winner. In their own group, you'd like to see that one bull be a little bigger and stouter to match the set that he's with. As you move down through the set, the bulls that fall into third, I think are some bulls that's got a lot of body, a lot of doing ability, probably not quite as neat and clean from the side profile, probably don't have quite the extension to the front end, but bulls that's got a lot of ruggedness and a lot of go to them, big feet, big legs. Bulls that will go out and service lots of cattle out in the pasture and on the range. The bulls that stood in fourth today, another set of bulls that's got a lot of production about them. These bulls got muscle, they got power, they got body. They probably just didn't match up quite as well.
Well, class 181B, our first entry for that class is 2513. In the crowd, the correct bull should be the third bull on their list, should be TLM Eclipse 727E. The actual days is 332. Their average weight is 1,053. Weight per day of age is 3.2. Ribeye area 14, and scroll circumference of 33.3. The third bull in for entry 2519 is TLM Eclipse 727E. This is a correction to your program. He is sired by RRRC All-Star. Dam is TLM Miss 469B. He has a Cavities bulls in 2017 national test were by True Line Herd Sires. This pen had an average weight of 1,053, weight per day of age of 3.2, a rib area of 14.0, and a scroll circumference of 33.3. The next entry in will be entry 2466, brought to you by Nagel Cattle Company. And the third bull in for entry 2466 is NAGE Maternal Maid 7070. NAGE Maternal Maid 7070. Entry 2466 is brought to you by Nagel Cattle Company. Were established in 1990. Nagel's herd makeup of 300 registered Maine and maintainer cows. Their goal is to provide high-quality Maine and used seed stock to producers. Their cattle must thrive on grass as well as in the feed yard. They have a yearly bull sale February 9th, 2018 this year at the ranch. They also have red heifers and heifer calves available in the fall. Notable herd sires are NAGE Annie Up, ABC Lasting Impression, and NAGE Wide Track. Average measurements for entry 2466, weight 1,119, weight day of age of 3.3, rib area of 14.9, and a scroll circumference of 34.3. also will have an AMA social here today at 3:30 or 30 minutes after the conclusion of the bull show. Our pens are available for viewing here at the north end of the yards, and I know the breeders would love to have you come by. If we can help you in any way, finding cattle or getting you hooked up with breeders, myself, Josh Cribbs, Lindsey Brook, we would all be glad to help you out there. We also will have our hill show on Sunday morning at 8 a.m. Results for Class 181B. First place goes to entry 2466, brought to you by Nagel Cattle Company. Second place, 13, brought to you by Chance and Vincent Freely.
Good morning, and it's my turn to come around here. I think we've got an exceptional and meant to be uniformity. I really see the uniformity in these three bulls, not only for like hip height, but uniformity in muscle kind, bone kind. The three bulls really fit well together. I think it's a really easy first place in this division. Bulls, the pen of three bulls in second class, or standing in second, really long-sided kind of a bulls. Don't quite have the rib shape or rib that our top bulls do. There's a couple bulls that's kind of up on their pastures a little bit, but just give up too much body mass to go higher in the class. Whereas the third placing in this class, we start to lose a little bit of that uniformity. We got a couple of bulls that are a little different kind in there. And also a couple of bulls that's up on them pastures a little bit, and just gives up a little, again, give up some length of side, body mass, and especially chest floor compared to the bulls in front of them. Super class, pen of bulls to start this class with.
Thank you, Eldon. Let's give that group a round of applause as they exit the ring. And then we'll proceed on with Class 182. So again, results of that class. First place went to entry 2466, second place entry 2519, third place entry 2513. We just have one entry in Class 182, so this will also be this division winner. Entry 2520 is brought to you by Willow Springs Cattle Company, Prairie Grove, Arkansas. The first bull in for entry 2520 is WSCC WSCC Code Black 156E, which is also Lot 23 in the bright light cell. Lot 23. Next bull in for entry 25. $520 is WSCC Black Pearl 151E, WCC Black Pearl 151E, which also is lot 24 in the bright light cell. Next bull in for entry 2520, Black Magic 300E, which also is lot 25 in the bright light cell. Entry 2520 is brought to you by Willow Springs Cattle Company, established in 2006. They currently run 100 head of Maine and maintainer females. Started off with their kids showing cattle and gained a love for the breed. The climax last spring when they purchased the Bushy Park herd out of South Dakota in its entirety. They look forward to the future in the exciting Maine Anjou breed. In terms of marketing, they have a female sale every December, the first Saturday, and bull sales in February, along with online sales. Throughout the year. Notable herd sires produced or used in this program: Mercedes-Benz, Second to None, Record.
Well, I think all three of us can agree we got this one right. I think we see a pretty big age spread in these bulls. I think there's about 60 days top to bottom. I think you get to analyze them individually, very similar in their build and how they're constructed. I think handily probably the most athletic set of bulls that we've seen today. They get out and really handle their feet and legs extremely well. I love the angles. I love the foot shape. You get behind them, they're stout-made bulls that got some meat and some muscle and some mass to them. And you view them from the side, and I think they're bulls that have a lot of softness and ease of fleshing to them as well. Just a nice set of high-quality bulls here. Let's go ahead and congratulate this exhibit, if you don't mind.
So now we'll be bringing our bulls in for a champion drive. Representing Class 181 is entry 2459, Blind Badger Ranch. This being at an average weight of 1,038, weight per day of age of 3.8, ribeye area of 13.0, scroll circumference of 30.5. Representing Class 181A is entry 2464, brought to you by Buck Cattle Company and Morton Farms. Entry 2464 had an average weight of 1,156, a weight per day of age of 3.8, rib area of 15.1, and a scroll circumference of 31.0. Representing Class 181B is entry 2466, brought to you by Nagle Cattle Company, Springfield, South Dakota. Entry 2466 had an average weight of 1,119, weight per day of age of 3.3, ribeye area of 14.9, and a scrotal of 34.3. Entry 2466. Entry 2520 had an average weight of 1,341, weight per day of age of 3.6, ribeye area of 15.8. Again, they are showing for our champion Maine NWSS P3 bulls here at the 2018 National Western Stock Show. Once again, our judges for today, Judge A is Mr. Eldon Krebs from Gordon, Nebraska. Their family has an purebred Angus operation, as well as a feeding operation. They also have custom semen services, Western Sires. They have an annual bull sale every February, sell approximately 300 bulls and sell over 150 bulls private treaty every year. Eldon has been in the purebred cattle business for many, many years, been very successful in several different breeds, and has been extremely successful exhibiting cattle here, particularly in the yards here at the National Western. Judge B is Mr. Nate Ruby from Murray, Iowa. Where he also graduated from. So we're glad to have these judges today. They've done extremely good work so far. Let's give them a round of applause for their efforts out here today as we get into our champion high Maine Pen of 3. Has somebody your hand in the crowd there. Mr. Caleb Miller. Caleb, raise your hand. You can tell they're paying attention to me. Miss Hannah Top Miller. Miss Taylor Dorsey, our president this year. Mr. Ladd Landgraf, back to back, former president. We also have Miss Addison Ebersol. And standing next to her, her younger but taller sister, our queen this year, Miss Jolene Ebersol. So glad they're here with us. Thank you guys for your help. Okay, we are about through with our tabulation here for our champion high Maine pin of the 2018 National Western Stock Show.
I'm up here, but so I'll go ahead and talk about it. But congratulations to these exhibitors here for exhibiting your champion high percent Maine and Jew bulls, as I stated in class. I think as we look at them, we got to realize there's a little bit of age difference, but I think you start breaking these bulls down, and they're very similar in their design. Very attractive made bulls. They're stout made. Very, very athletic. That's one thing I appreciate in myself. When we kick them loose, they get out and move. They handle their feet and legs exceptionally well. Just good, very, very, very nice, high quality set of bulls here to go ahead and win your high Maine bull show. Let's go ahead and congratulate them one more time.
Thank you, Nate. Now they'll go out and review for reserve. I will go through the placings real quick. Sorry, I will do that at the end. results there for our Pure Maine Bull show. Let's give them another round of applause. That's 3. We'll take just a few minutes.
Just a reminder, we'll be selecting a People's Choice Award for the Bulls in the pin show, and you can pick ballots up over here at the Maine and Jude table right beside the stands.
all of them are acceptable, but one bull you really acknowledge his quality and his body and the way he's built, but all of them's got good build from the side. They're all good in their hip. Ideally, I think I would like to just clean them up, stretch them out their front end just a little bit, but that's probably being pretty critical on a good set of bulls that's going to go out and do something in the pasture for lots of people and make better cows, make better calves. So let's give these guys a round of applause, and we'll move right on into the next set of maintainers.
Thank you, Josh. So, again, results, Class 281, entry 2459. Next class, starting on Class 281A, entry 2515, brought to you by Wayne and Barb Ulrichs, Norfolk, Nebraska. Their first bull in will be OHL Extra Points 417. OHL Extra Points 417. This bull also is lot 51 in the bright light cell. He will be lot 51. Some changes here on this particular entry. The weight was wrong on the third bull in the list there. Instead of 1,049, it should be 1,172. That changes their average weight to 1,095. Changes his average, or excuse me, his weight per dev age to 3.7, what would change their average weight per dev age to 3.6. So this entry's average weight should be 1,095 and weight per dev age 3.6. The next bull in for entry 2515 is OHL Extraordinary 419, excuse me, 4192. OHL Extraordinary 4192, which is also lot 50 in your bright light cell catalog. satellite herds for embryo production as well. Yearly, they market through 2 online female and steer sales held in the fall with show circuit online sales. They have an annual bull sale with OHL and Friends held first Saturday of February. This year's sale is February 3rd. Notable herd sires produced or in use. They raised OHL Cornerstone, now owned by Willow Springs, which is the sire of the donation heifer this year for the AJMAA and the Bright Light sale. Entry 2515 had an average weight of 1,095, weight per day of age of 3.6, REA of 14.7, scroll of 34.5. Next entry in, starting off, entry 2470 from the Young Ranch. The first bull to come in is DJ Enabler, E707. DJ Enabler. The next bull in for entry 2470 is DJ E729. DJ E729. Again, entry 2470 was brought to you by the Young Ranch, Kennebec, South Dakota, established in 1948. They run 500 to 600 cows, and their herd breakdown is 70% Maine and Maine Cross, 20% Angus, and 10% Simmental. They started out with an Angus base and been breeding Maine since 1971. They have females for sale in the fall by auction and private treaty. They have an annual bull sale the last Thursday in February. This year's bull sale is February 22nd and will be their 50th annual. Please welcome and encouraged to come to South Central South Dakota. They are thankful for the previous generations and the grace of God. Power Plant, Bullseye, DJ Databank, Digger, DJ On Point, and DJ I Deliver. Next entry to come in is entry 2461, brought to you by Beaupre Land and Cattle, Byers, Colorado. Entry 2461. First bull in will be BOE Sticks. BOE Sticks, which is also lot 54 in your Bright Lights catalog. in for entry 2461 is BOE Knox, which is also lot 52 in your cell catalog. Lot 52. Entry 2461 is brought to you by Beaupre Land and Cattle, Byers, Colorado. It was established in 1981. Beaupre Land and Cattle started showing mains in 81. It is a cow-calf Jefferson Bulls private treaty year-round. They have promoted their cattle all across the U.S. and Canada. They market cattle both through the Bright Light sale and also private treaty there at the ranch throughout the year. Notable herd sires produced or used in their operation: BOE Garth, Annie Up, Polestar, and BOE Epic. 2461's average weight was 1,088. Weight per day of age, 3.4. Ribeye area of 13.5 and a scroll circumference of 33.3. Next entry in will be entry 2463, brought to you by Griswold Cattle Company, Stillwater, Oklahoma. Entry 2463 will also be our final entry at this particular division. The first bull in will be GCC Maternal Made, 2458E, GCC Maternal Made, 7458E. Made 7431E, GCC Maternal Made 7431E. Next bull in for entry 2463 is GCC Broker 7206E. GCC Broker 7206E. Entry 2463 is brought to you by Griswold Cattle Company, Stillwater, Oklahoma, established in 1985. They run about 2,000 head of cattle that are Maine Angus, Angus, and Simmental. John and his brother started Griswold Cattle in 1985, trying to produce the highest quality breeding cattle for the pasture and in the show ring. One of their main goals at Griswold Cattle is that they can offer their customers the cattle and genetics that can be profitable, producing cattle that can be a mainstay in other operations. They have 2 sales a year. Their female sale is the 3rd Saturday in December every year. They usually sell about 200 breds, 50 cows, and about 50 to 75 show heifers a year. Their bull sale resides in Follett, Texas on the 2nd Saturday in April every year. And they usually sell about 250 head of bulls there. Notable herd sires produced or in use at GCC: Irish Whiskey, Maternal Maid, Daddy's Money, and Cerveza. Average weights for 2463 was 1,223. Results of Class 281A. First place went to entry 2515, brought to you by Wayne and Barb Ulrichs. Second place went to entry 2463, brought to you by Griswold Cattle Company. Third place went to entry 2461, brought to you by Beaupre Land and Cattle. And entry 2470 was fourth place, brought to you by DeYoung Ranch.